To battle, packmates, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. I'm Admiral Tarak of the Dreadnought Scimitar, as we continue our campaign against the Hydran Star Kingdom, or rather, what is left of us. And the last time, well, we did some damage along the brand new border. We're currently in dock at 111, the Hydran homeworld, which we have conquered. The Klingons are no doubt sending a diplomatic mission to say, give it to us back. But last time we also purchased the battleship Thunderfang, which is a full-on BBX, which is quite heavily armed. So, with that in mind, we need to make some prestige back and head out into space to cause some damage. So let's go ahead and do that as soon as we can. See if we can't get some actual business going on in here. And hopefully crush down more on the Hydrans. Their empire is currently waning in the face of our massive assault. So let's start crashing down. We have a holding action. Holding action is, of course, a mission where there is a random listening post, which we want to go to, download the information, and run from. It tends to be a bit of a challenge because they tend to bring quite a bit of firepower against you. But you can always just skip the mission by running right by everybody and going right to the listening post. It is always better, if you can, to kill everybody, because that actually puts you in a much better position aggressively in terms of how much prestige they're going to give you. So, with that in mind, we are currently dueling against an XFE, which is an X-type frigate escort, a frigate, a heavy cruiser, which is an X-type heavy cruiser, we can tell by the silhouette, and another heavy cruiser, which is not an X-type heavy cruiser. So a pretty significant amount of firepower. So an MHX. Escorting today is, of course, our brand new friend of the Thunderfang, who's equipped with, 10 disruptor banks, 6 ESGs, 12 or 14, I can't remember which, phaser X's, and 6 phaser 3s, just for a little bit of point defense, as well as the listening post, the Death Wing, which really doesn't seem to be fitting of its name. It's a pretty defensive ship. And the Soul Taker, also not quite fitting a ship of that kind of caliber that you would expect. We're going to turn in here, go immediately after the XCB. It's a heavy bombardment cruiser. I do believe it's going to be equipped with additional, whatchamacallits, Hellbore cannons, that's it. The Hellbore, of course, a very effective weapon. Manages to in Starfleet Command, it wraps around all of your shields and hits the weakest one, which is terrifying, and something you definitely don't want to happen to you, so we're going to make sure that we get in there quickly and hopefully knock him down as soon as we can. Yeah, he is equipped with 6 Hellbore cannons. Wait, no, there's 3 more. 9 Hellbore cannons. Holy crap, it looks like he's already annihilated the Death Wing in its entirety, leaving us against a lot of fighters. 2, 4, 6, 7 fighters in total. Alright, we're going to line up on you. 7 fighters, can we take that? That'll be an interesting amount of damage. Let's actually set up for a full-on super hyper-aggressive assault. And I'm going to pull him out of formation. I'm going to deploy our pseudo-frigates in defensive mode. Yes, this is dangerous, but part of it is because I want to distract how much damage goes towards us. And if I can get them to shoot our little guys, we'll be in a good spot to fire everything. Okay, that's good. All weapon follow-up. And the ESG, get ready for a crunch. This is going to be interesting. Just in time to give him pretty much the entire business. And then he followed up with a massive amount of fire. And we have been hit. And incoming fighters. Hopefully I'll be able to get something in the way. Drop a mine. I think I want to pull them off and get my pseudo-frigates to be a little bit more aggressive, but there's not a whole heck of a lot I can do. Let's get the phasers starting to blast in. If I can weaken these guys, then we really don't have as much to worry about. We've already told our battleship friend to get on out of here, to go engage how he sees fit, and we're going to hopefully use that to our advantage. The Perseverance is the name of the X-Type, and he's down to a speed of, wow, he's only down to a speed of 3.5. Let's see if we can't get, there we go, another group of fighters down. So 2 groups of fighters down that we know of. And I want to keep bashing the Perseverance. He's lost most of his phaser weaponry. He may have lost most of these Hellbores, and we just don't have accurate information on that just yet. Let's slow down, get a little bit more power back from the shields and energy systems, so that we can start shunting more power into the weapons, which we desperately need to. He is turning to present one of his better shield sides. This corner here, it'll spread it across 2 separate shields, which is not good. So let's start crunching him down. Kick on the ESGs as many as we can at this rate. And we do want to just start punching holes in him, give him no defensive options at this point. But we only have so many weapons with which to engage. Our primary armament really is the Hellbore, or not the Hellbore, but the Mauler. If we can get the Mauler on target, then we can deal massive amounts of damage. But until that happens, well then, we're stuck with a fairly weak brace of weapons. It's kind of heavy cruiser tier. I mean, 4 ESGs and an additional 6 phaser X's is, yeah, that's definitely heavy cruiser. Older heavy cruiser too. Alright, so we took out the most dangerous opponent, the heavy bombardment cruiser. Definitely a terrifying thing to fight, and that took out, I think, all the fighters at this point. So we're in a relatively good spot. Let's see how many... Our pseudo-frigates are still alive. Excellent. Let's pull them home. Get them both back on board the ship. Good, that was one of them. I was a little bit worried about that. And once we get them both back on board, we should be able to repair them, get them ready to go back out there and cause some damage. ESG's back up to full power, so we have 80 damage worth of crunch right there. And I'm actually going to pull power away from the forward shield reinforcement. I know, crazy, since we're going in towards a heavy cruiser with point-blank range weaponry, but I really do want to get a Mauler shot in if we can. He's engaged his weaponry at a target other than us. That was probably a mistake. Mauler, how much power I got? 1 point of energy. 2 points of energy. Oh, this is going to be a slow charge up, isn't it? We're just going to get relatively close to him so we can just open him up. It will, of course, make us vulnerable to his Gatling phases, but it looks like we may have taken one out entirely. And he's going to come around, and if he's going to do that, we're going to kick on the full ESG and hopefully hit that red shield. We hit the entire side of the shield, but that opened him up pretty good. So he's lost all starboard shielding. He is the most dangerous target right now as we circle back around. Battleship's in great intercept position, and his disruptors are just about ready to come online. But he's too distracted on firing that. Nope. No, he engaged with the disruptors just as I wanted to. So I wish I could give them a little bit more aggressive orders as to what they're allowed to do. But that was a great turn on in. Managed to get 65 damage out of those phasers, just nailing him to the wall. Let's get the disruptors, continue to plink down on him. And phaser follow-up ought to be in a relatively good spot, and that tears him apart. Alright, XFE is the next one. It is an X-type ship, which does make it dangerous, but it's an FE. It's a frigate escort. So not the most dangerous thing ever in the universe. Still needs to be respected to a certain level, mainly because of those Gatling phasers. And Gatling 2s. He is... Wow, that's a lot of Gatling 2s. Alrighty, so that takes out that. We're down to just a single GENX. No idea what that means. But we're just going to cruise on in here and smack him down. He only has 2 of his fusion beams left. So I kind of don't want to sap any power from other things. We didn't actually take any penetrating damage. Holy crap. Our shields held through all of that. That is impressive. I'm proud of you, ship. They managed to stand up to a heavy bombardment cruiser just laying into us. So with any luck, we didn't actually take any losses. 44 Marines. Yeah, I think that's a full complement for us. Do we have any friends left? Yes, we do. The Soul Taker is still alive. He's still duking it out with this Gen X over here. So as soon as my Mauler is back on at full power, I'm just going to sprint right on in. We're charging at 24 points per turn, which means about 3 turns worth to charge this. A little bit less than that, of course, because, you know, the 4 additional energy, and the maximum is 60. But I'm perfectly happy to cruise along nice and slow on this. Don't think we'll actually get in range. Yeah, he finished him off with super long-range phaser fire. Holy crap. That was impressive. Okay, that clears out space. I mean, that's just us. Yeah, I'm going to increase the speed of time to maximum. And also, yes, it does not matter, but I do want to get the battery up to full charge once again. And we're going to say you no longer need to charge this. Alrighty, so everything's done. So ECM down to 0. Green alert. Full powered engines. Let's get going. The enemy is completely gone at this point. It is just us. We now have to get to the listening post. Now, the one kind of annoying thing we're going to have to deal with is the fact that now we have to fly off the map. If you just get to the listening post and the enemy is still alive, the game reads that as, okay, I need to end this now, otherwise he's probably going to die. So it ends the game immediately. But if you go through and absolutely destroy every enemy ship left, well, then you need to fly off the map after you get the listening post data. So we are reading the information, fly past it. Did I only set yellow alert? I suppose that's fine. Green alert. We're perfectly happy to do whatever. Show me the map. What's the fastest way out of here? Right as we're going. And of course, our gigantic battleship, the Thunderfang, is being quite slow. I should probably order him to get back in formation with me. So speed up to full power. He's got all the data information too, so both ships now technically count for winning. Should that be required, we are going to have to transfer our flag over to the Thunderfang, because the AI is not going to want to run off the map. Also, it's not dropping its shields, so as soon as we hit warp power, pop on over to us, and drop everything. We don't need it. So our gigantic, super heavy battleship. 10 disruptor banks, 14 phaser X's. Oh, the amount of damage that this guy can output is pretty hilariously high. And cruise on off that map. Now, of course, it's difficult to keep this guy supplied because the AI tends to be very aggressive with pseudo-frigates. So aggressive that they tend to throw them away. And something I don't exactly condone because I have to pay for them. Like when the enemy AI is using it, it does not care. 350 prestige is, of course, a reward, and the data was corrupt, so we didn't get any information off of it. So we will not be able to basically force through. So they do have 2 planets left. Force through information to get a surprise reverse mission. So the Hydrants apparently still have 2 planets left, and they will attempt to hold them against all comers. We will, of course, have to break them against all comers. However, this one's going to be really hard to bust. 413. It's only got an Empire defense of 45, but the problem is that it's got a station on board. So at any point, we might run into either a planetary assault, which is okay, or a space station battle against potentially a very, very, very large space station. And if that happens, well, we're done. So it looks like we have a shipyard assault, and the only thing I'm seeing is a freighter and a frigate. I'm fairly certain I can kill you. This is a destroyer or a light cruiser of some description. DWVX, so it is a war destroyer carrier. A little bit difficult to work with, but we will manage. After all, we have a Mauler, and they don't. The fact that we have the Mauler probably means we might be able to kill them in one shot. If not, the follow-up from the ESGs will definitely finish things off. So we're just going to wait for the phaser capacitor to get a full charge, make sure we set our phasers to overload. We have 36 points of additional energy, so let's go in, make sure that we give ourselves maximum defense. Tell the computer that is a very important thing, that it must keep online at all costs. The amount of damage that saves you is just phenomenal. Like, we had kind of gotten away from using it so much, and we really, really shouldn't have, because it's just so useful in all descriptions. It reduces the amount of damage dealt, it reduces the amount of damage, or the amount of chance that they have to actually hit you. It's just a good weapon system, or defensive system. Make sure we set our ESGs down to minimum, and I know I already did this, but I'm going to double check it just in case, for luck. You may break off an engagement. I wish for you to engage anything that you desire. You are, of course, a battleship and a big boy, and I trust that you... Actually, no, I can't. Get back in formation. I can't trust that you'll actually do what I need you to do, because you'll probably leave the Star Dock alone, and for me to face it all on my lonesome. And that's not cool. Yeah, of course, is famous for allowing that to happen. Wait for him to get to point-blank range. Fire! Wasn't enough. We'll follow up with this. And crunch. Of course, knock down that. It's going towards the final remaining vessel. All phases... disruptors. Disruptors are good long-range blinking weapons. Now, we do have to actually hit the enemy, but the enemy is not putting out any sort of attack shift at all. How sad. So hit him with that, and then if he hits that... If he hits the CSG, he's dead. Oh, it shut down just in time. Oh, and then you turn it on and hit him with another one. Alrighty, that's the Stardocks destroyed. What kind of Stardocks are we looking at? Send a probe. And they're Gorn Stardocks. Oh, no. That means they have plasma torpedoes. Not that the plasma torpedo is especially dangerous. I mean, we do have a lot of defensive energy. But the issue comes down to... Oh, I looked away right as it got in range. Yeah. The issue is we're going to have to put 20 points of energy into our forward shield. And as long as we're trying to charge a Mauler, that's not great. We'll increase the speed of time to maximum, let everything charge up, get us all ready to go and crunch things down. And once we get within a reasonable range, I will let him off the chain to go kill whatever he wants. I don't think he'll take too much damage, but I can't be sure. The AI is, of course, very bad at its job. It can be okay and pretty smart at times when you're fighting it, but I have never seen the friendly AI be decent. They tend to run headlong into things. Especially if you're playing against a plasma-armed race, and you don't have plasma torpedoes. Even if you do, it tends to be pretty everybody dies sort of thing. How much power do I got? 60 points of energy into that forward battery, so let's kick on the forward shield to full power. Kick that sucker and get it ready to rock. Alright, so we're just going to go in here. Give me a little bit more speed. And make sure that our shields... Yep, we have no point defense established. And the main reason why we want that is because I don't want to waste the power in trying to shoot it down. Of course, the phaser 3s always try and shoot. Alright, we're within range. You may engage. So get ready with that Mauler. As soon as we hit double damage range, we'll basically open him up. This is the official can opener of, well, Star Trek. Supposedly the Romulans have a better one, but I never found it. Well, I never had a chance to use it because the Romulans have way better ships. Like, the Romulans have some fascinatingly powerful things. Mainly just the entirety of the Condor line. Their mid and late era dreadnoughts are just phenomenal. And I absolutely adore them for everything that they do. We were putting out alphas like 200 or almost 300 damage in that King Condor, which was our main battleship ride for a long time during the Romulan series. Which, if you haven't seen it, go back. I think it's season 9, and it was really interesting. It was also a bit of a cakewalk, to be completely honest, because it was the Federation versus the Romulans, and the Romulans just completely body the Federation in all ways. See if we can't get that shield up to a full power. Oh, we got it up to enough so it actually held against it. Alright, now get ready to open them up. 4. That's everything except the ESGs. Take out that shield. Didn't take out the shield, really. Okay, take on the ESGs, because now we need to kill the shield. Alright, so we no longer has a shield. Let's all stop right here. Fire more. And we're just going to sit here. We're going to just cruise on to a stop, and hopefully a battleship can take on a star dock. We've yet to have that proved yet, but we have hope. Faint hope. Luckily, his heavy weapons are down, meaning he can't really defend himself against us. So we're just kind of sitting in the middle of the star dock, blasting at everything around us. It's very cinematic, let me tell you, if, you know, we could have that kind of camera. And disruptors just blasted away. We need to just steadily weaken his shields in general. I don't think he'll have anything especially amazing. Did we just not produce enough energy? Or am I going at a slow speed? I'm going at slow speed. Because I was worried, of course, about getting hit by anything big. Alright, that's down. Onto the last star dock. Do you have it? Shipyard is no more? Wonderful. So an entire shipyard completely destroyed with just essentially 2 ships. To be fair, the defenses were pretty terrible. 450 prestige, of course, is our reward. Let's pop back. Oh, there's a surprise reversed. Oh, I don't begrudge taking this mission. Surprise reverse are excellent missions if you want to just gain a little bit of cash. It's 300 prestige for a successful accomplishing of the mission. And it's really, really easy because the enemy ships generally don't shoot back. We are being escorted today by the Death Slayer, which is a Klingon frigate equipped with 2 missile launchers, 2 disruptors, and then 4 phaser X's. That's not terrible, actually. Probably pretty cheap, too. As well as the Really? The Death Slayer and the Death Slayer. Okay. This Death Slayer, however, is a drone light cruiser, or is it a heavy cruiser? The model tells me light cruiser. Yeah, it's a D5. So a D5D XPM, which has 3, 6, 7, plus a V. Oh, the Vs are amazing. Vs, of course, stand for MIRV-RAC missile launchers, and they fire a missile, which then, after it travels for a little bit, splits into 6 more missiles. Now granted, each of those missiles deals 1/6 of the amount of damage that a full power missile would do, but that taxes point defense systems quite nicely. And during our Hydron campaign, we were able, or not Hydron, but MIRV-RAC campaign, we were able to take quite heavy advantage of that weapon system. It is one of my favorites because it is just so gosh darn lousy to fire that kind of weapon and just see everything explode. One of the best ships for that is the MIRV-RAC X-type heavy cruisers because they have multiple MIRV launchers. And you'll put out a salvo of like 50-something missiles per shot. It's amazing. And then you'll double up those salvos by basically just cruising at the speed of the missiles that they fly in. And so you'll fire, wait a turn, fire, and then break off. And now you've got this massive wave of missiles heading towards the target. It doesn't work out perfectly against enemy ships, main reason because everybody has Wild Weasels. Wild Weasel shuttles, of course, being the perfect defensive shuttle. They mimic the drive signature of the ship that they were launched from, and thus any guided weapons go straight into them. It stops major plasma salvos from being super deadly and major opening missile salvos from being super deadly, since if you launch 40-something missiles, every single one of those will smash into the Wild Weasel because it lasts for a turn, even after it's been destroyed. So we are almost in range. It is an HDWM-2X, which is the heaviest vessel here. This, of course, being a heavy war destroyer. And as you can see, it's one of the classics. It's got 3 photon torpedoes, which seems to be so very common on the Federation war destroyers. Oh, is that the Garibaldi? That's hilarious. Garibaldi reminds me of a character from Babylon 5. He's the chief of security and all-around badass. So let's open up with our Muller. But yeah, that Federation heavy war destroyers are some of the best war destroyers, in my opinion. They get some really nice, flexible vessels. Let's call the Thunderfang and tell it to do whatever it feels like. ESG is up to full power, slow way down, so we start charging things. Oh, hit him for 80 damage and followed up with disruptors, and that killed him. So 2 ships on through. Now on to one of these the original series era Intrepid-looking things, which are quite cool in my opinion. I kind of wish that the police ships, the Coast Guard cutters and the like, were the normal model for ships that were frigate class, because they're just cool. Unfortunately, he's gonna die. We'll fire with phasers. Yeah. Gone for. And only a single one left. Are you stopping? Don't stop. We still have targets to kill. Granted, not many targets, but they're still there. Does the Mauler still have any power? It has 1 point of power. Let's do 2 damage with it. Just because it's funny. 2 damage. And disruptors pouring the fire down on the enemy. Can I take the glory? I think I took the glory. Yes, sometimes I will compete with my own friendly battleships. Because it somewhat amuses me. So 300 prestige, nice and easy. This will help us afford more things, which we probably won't spend on, because trying to give more pseudo-frigates to our battleship buddy will just result in dead pseudo-frigates. Alrighty, so that's actually going to be where we're leaving it today. We have located probably the last two bastions of resistance in Hydron space. And the one at 213 being our current target is down to an Empire defense of 59. So we will continue to bash away at it until it is ours. And we'll have an economy of 70, which is pretty nice. What's the economy of the other one? 35, yeah, so this is probably their sole remaining major production facility. If we take this, we'll probably not run into any more heavy X-type ships ever again. Anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment. I will see you all in the next episode.